Today I'm sitting down with Angel Ochoa to talk about his new album, De la Toscana. This project is about reflection. It's about ego, faith, love, regret, and what it really means to grow as a man. These songs don't chase perfection, they tell his story. They tell the truth. So today, we're not just breaking down tracks, we're getting into the story behind them. The first ever, I'm going to call this Stay Nvsty album breakdown. Stay Nvsty is my company, for those who don't know.
Hell yeah.
And I'm very excited to have Angel Ochoa back on the show.
Yep.
I was going to say it's part 2, but really it's part 1. This is the first installment of album reviews.
Yeah.
Now, I feel very lucky to have gotten the album early so I can listen to it, digest it. And I got to say, my favorite song right now is How Can I?
Oh,
my favorite song right now is How Can I?
That was a good one. Right? That was a fire one, yeah.
I love, first of all, your flow on the entire album. Because you produce all your beats, right?
Yep, 100%.
You have a way of rapping where you like build the beat almost around your vocals. Because like your pauses are strategic, and then the sample will go right back up in between the breaks in your verses. I have to ask, before we get into any song, any theme, is that how you make your beats? Like you have like lines in your mind and say, oh, an instrumental break right here would be great. Or what is your process there?
Yeah, that process is crazy. It comes in multiple ways, multiple whatever altitudes that, may come about, while I'm, just going through life and shit. But that's one of the main ways that I love making, because it's like, man, there's no rules to nothing. Like, there's no rule when it comes to a blank canvas. There's no rules to nothing. So you could go ahead and you could write a lyric, and you could inspire yourself to write a whole verse from a quote maybe. Like let's say you hear a quote from some philosopher, Socrates or some shit, and you see that quote, that could inspire you to write 16 more quotes or 16 more. You know what I mean? Yeah.
One thing feeds into the other.
Exactly. One thing feeds into the other. So it's like, when there's a line that I have, or when there's a couple set of bars that I have, I like to use samples. Sampling is one of the bases that I use for production, because the sample, you could tell like telling a story in a project, you could tell a story in a song with the sample, and the lyrics inside the sample. Right. For example, at the beginning, who's it gonna be? That intro sample start is the ending to the whole entire project in its entirety. So the very intro is the outro. Yeah. It's just like, it's like,
it's little details like that.
Yeah.
So I had to interject here.
No, you good.
There's little details like that most people might not pick up, but that tell me, outside of being an artist, just as a fan, it tells me you're serious about your craft.
100%.
There's nothing I would want to invest in more as a person, as a fan. I can forgive. As a fan, I can forgive a bad song. I can even forgive a bad album. Not to say yours is. But I'm saying, like, for other artists that I've been fans of, I'm not fans of every song they've ever made. But when I see, like, man, like, they were very intentional on tracking. They were very intentional on track listing. The names of songs, the producers they worked with, the theme, the cover art. How can I not do you the survey? You did your hard work on putting this together, crafting this together. How can I not do right by you and give it the full attention that I feel like it deserves? So let's go back before I ask my official lining of questions. It's 2026 right now. By the time people see this, the album will be released January 2026.
Yeah, actually, 27th.
I
totally
I thought
forgot.
This was coming out the same.
I totally forgot. It slipped from my mind because there were some mixing issues that I went on.
2027?
No, 27th.
Oh!
Yeah.
Okay. Whoops. The 27th of January.
Yeah, 27th of January.
Regardless. I was like, wait, 2027? This shit looks done. Damn, I was setting this whole up. But anyway, regardless, comes out this year.
Yeah.
Okay. when was the very first, oh my God, my voice is terrible. When was the very first session for this album? When was the concert, like when did it come to your mind, De La Toscana is what I'm going to make?
The first session that came about was the first week of September 2025.
Okay.
First week of September 2025. And we can get into real life shit because I'm comfortable getting into real life shit because this whole project is about real life. You know what I mean? The experiences that I went through, you know, just being in love, really, you know, like, you know, and being in love can, you know, come about a multitude of things, you know, within your life, you know, but it started the first week of September. It was about someone that I was interested in, and you know when that happens, it comes about naturally. When you make music, it's like it comes about naturally. You know, with whatever you know, whatever's going on. Like, you know, whether you hang out with this person or you know you see this person and you know they on your brain and shit. So it's like with that it comes, man, I'm gonna make a song about them. You know what I mean? Just to get this feeling, you know, out in a cool way. Right. So the first song on the project that I worked on was Blue Magic. The second song was Blue Magic. Yeah. So
very love infused track.
Yeah, very lovely. Blue Magic, inspired by the soul band Blue Magic. My pop's a big fan of that. You know, my favorite song for Blue Magic is it's called Spell. Spell. Anybody listening, check out that song. That song is like the basis of how I felt throughout the whole album. You know, it's a beautiful song, beautifully composed and everything. But first week of September when I started, you know, working on this project.
First week of September. So did you know I'm making a project, or did it start as just one song?
It started as one song. I didn't even know I was gonna make anything, to be real. I was just making a song just to make a song. You know, I was with two of my homies and I made the beat. And I told him, I was like, hey, I think there's someone, boom, boom, boom. And so it was like, oh, like this, like okay, like I'm gonna make a. I made the beat like, in kind of like a gateway to the personality of this person. Right. You know, so it's like very like rock infused, very rock infused. You know, like with the sample, I have the sample up on Instagram if anybody wants to go check it out. Of the intro of that song, and it's very rock, you know, heavy, and yeah, I made the beat, and then I wrote the hook in the first verse the same night. I took 2 weeks later to, you know, create the second verse, and then yeah, that's kind of how that came about. I was just like, oh, I'm just making this song for whatever, but it never was like this is a project, you know? Right.
Yeah. Before we continue, for anybody listening right now, I need you to stop what you're doing. If you haven't, if you have, then continue what you're doing. Listen to the interview conducted by me with Angel Ochoa. Okay. It's called The 19-Year-Old Prodigy at the time, right? That's what it was.
Now I'm 20.
The 19-year-old prodigy, Angel Ochoa, right? Because in order to understand the questions going forward, you really have to digest who Angel is as a person in his story, right? Angel Ochoa. Let's go ahead and get into the album.
For sure.
De La Toscana. Yep. If you had to describe De La Toscana without using the words love or heartbreak, at its core, what is it about?
You kind of hit it on the nose when you said it that first time. It's about developing as a man. Developing as a man with emotion and with feeling and with thought. And trusting as in not just trusting like, you know, the word. You could dig into so many concepts like trusting people, you know, at the end of the day, like you trust your, you know, your family, you trust, you know, the people that you love or the people, you know, that you could count on. Right. But really testing the trust that you have in somebody that you've fallen in love with. Right. You know what I mean? Like testing that and testing the waters with that, and just, you know, seeing how that come about, and really just developing and just being exposed to these different feelings when it comes to you know, whether being in a relationship with somebody, whether just being infatuated with somebody and having feeling towards somebody, which is a beautiful thing, but it could also be a very scary. I can't lie, very scary, very detrimental thing. I can't lie, because, you know, going through the feeling, it was crazy. All the songs that have come about, there's no faking it. I was in that moment. It was what I felt in that exact moment, and that's what came out of that. You know what I mean? So I would definitely say, just facing that emotion and learning how to not control, but letting go of the control, because sometimes, you know, you think, you know, about these certain things, and, you know, you start overthinking, you start, you know, just going in a whole cycle and a whole loop, but learning how to let go of certain feeling, and just, you know, like, you know, just learning, you know, I'm not going to have 100% control of everything that happens and the outcome that happens. That shit is fucking freeing, you know.
The way I like to describe it, I didn't put it in the intro. Yeah. But the way I like to describe it is the powerlessness of a boy. The journey of learning what powerlessness feels like, right? Because you were talking about control. What I hear when I say powerlessness, I mean you're letting this experience overwhelm you, and you're documenting your thoughts. Yeah. Right. The experience happens to be love. Yeah. But when I hear this, I feel like I hear pain. Right. To a degree. I don't mean pain as in physical, not even necessarily emotional, just like growing pains. Right. When you're younger, you're like, man, like my legs hurt. Like, and you're getting taller. So what I want to know is, were you making this? And I feel like you answered this earlier, but were you making this in the middle of growing, or after you've had some time to understand what that growth meant?
I was making this in the middle of growing. Okay. In the middle of growing. I was right in the midst of, you know, everything that, you know, that was going on through my head, that was going on. And it's not just about one person, it's about multiple it's about multiple, you know, people? It's about it's about, you know, it's being truthful, you know, it's about and even about past relationship or past, you know, just experiences that I've had, right? You know, obviously, you know, I pulled some of that source out of me, or out of, you know, the memory that I've had to, you know, to make it, to make this thing. But it was really just real in the sense of just the whole concept of like feeling like you ready, right? Feeling like you ready to take someone on, because it's a huge commitment, right? You know, like relationships, you know, whatever, like these things are huge commitments, you know. Huge commitments with a lot of things, you know. Like had this huge commitment to my music, you know. I had this huge commitment to these people in my life or whatnot. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, when you make a lot of things. So when you make a huge commitment to somebody else, it's like you said, scary. There's a fear factor in it, but also it's somewhere across the line. You know, I you know, want to grow with this person, go through all the emotion with the person, you know. It's like I was going through back and forth thoughts of like, man, I don't, like, am I ready? Am I not ready? Who gives a fuck if I'm ready? Like, like nobody's really ready. You know what I mean? For anything. Nobody's ready for anything. Yeah. So I was going through all that, you know, while making this album. It was real growing pain and real, you know, just going through the motion of what it was that I was feeling in the moment. And like I would make a song off the album, like say, how can I? I mean, how can I? And then the next week, some new information or some new shit pops up or some new shit pops off. Right. It was like that, you know. So it was right in the midst of like, you know, just a lot of shit. It's
happening.
Like you're documenting it in real time.
Yeah.
Like it
like
almost
a journal
became,
almost.
Yeah, I was literally about to say it became your journal.
Yeah.
Right. What I am hearing right now when you said ready, I hear something that I feel like a lot of people don't understand is there is no such thing as ready when it comes to love. And I'll tell you why very briefly. Mm-hmm. There's 7 billion. I mean, I think there's 7 billion people on the planet, maybe 8 billion.
Shit,
whatever. There's a lot of people.
Might be 10.
I saw that the other day.
Shit.
I can't really trust shit that I see on the internet. But with that being said, a lot of people, right? Mm-hmm. You can be ready in terms of yourself as a mentality. Yeah. Who am I as a person? Am I open-minded? Am I open to criticism? Right? Am I open to seeing perspectives outside of my own? Obviously, that's all encompassing with open-mindedness. Mm-hmm. When I hear this album, I hear the struggle of either trying to get ready. I hear that conflict, right? Mm-hmm. Some could interpret that conflict as I can't sustain the love that I want. Mm. That's what I hear. Mm. So one I want to know is that, am I correct in assuming there is a theme on the album or on the project about you can't sustain the love that you want? And if that is true, then what I would like to know as a follow-up is at what point did you realize the version of yourself that could not sustain the love that you wanted? Mm.
I think this version of me, like now, like within my life, like the same. I'm the same person. I'm not gonna lie. I was the same person I was in September, and I wasn't the same person I was in May.
Right.
You know what I mean? May 2025. But I was a different person in September, and I'm still the same person in September, just better. Right. Mm-hmm. Just, I worked on a lot of things, throughout this year, 2025, within, the whole aspect, mentally, physically, the way that I fucking dress, like the way, like every single aspect that I could think of, I did, because it was like, I can't keep, like, there's so much, like, there's no barrier. There's no like, top at all. I don't see no top. I'm gonna be real. I don't see no top when people are like, oh, like I'm gonna be at the top one day. I don't see a fucking top. I don't see like when people's top, like that's
you see a road.
I see a road.
It's not a ladder. It's
not a road. I see a road. We just going through it. We going through the journey. We all gonna die one day. It's like what top is there? The only top I'm trying to get, like I believe. Look, I'm gonna say it right now. I believe in God. I'm trying to get into the kingdom. Mm-hmm. That's my only top. 100%.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so like when it comes to all that, it's this person that I am now is I could sustain the love of everybody, and everybody, because I love and I embrace everybody and I love everybody. Right. It's just that, there's one person, in my life that, I maybe want to love a little more, you know what I mean? Right. And yeah, absolutely. I could, the version of me back then in September and the version of me now, I could, sustain that love and, take on, whatever they take on, and, just really be that kind of, that comfort, that peace, and vice versa. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
I love that answer. I want to take a break from the questions. I want to get into some lines. Okay.
For sure.
I have 3 lines for you. Mm-hmm. It's not full because if you guys have not listened to to any of Angel Ochoa's music, I need y'all to take a second, go listen to his music, because you'll understand. Very prolific. He has a way with words where it's like, it's not that I can't tell where the bar ended, but it's not very punchliney. It's like a continuous poem. Yeah. It's supposed to flow together. Yeah. The whole verse is the bar. Uh-huh. Right. So I picked a couple lines and I do it throughout the interview. Mm-hmm. So I'll start with the first one. Mm-hmm. I was a happy man for one day, then I threw it all away.
Oh yeah.
What does that line mean to you?
Oh man. So just for a little context, that line at the end of Blue Magic, that one it came about just that line in specific, I really love that line and the lines following up, or like, following after that line. But just that one thing, I was a happy man one day and then I threw it all away. Really just in the story that I'm telling, it's that thing, the second track, that outro is kind of like a snippet or like a foreshadow of what's to come in the final tracks. Right. So me being me and me building myself up, like I just said, me being, in tune with myself, physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, everything. Me doing that and just me being really comfortable with myself and me being, like really wanting to go out there, really wanting to just be myself in front of everybody and just make friends and make new colleagues, participate in community, everything. Just me having that and going into knowing that in my past I've had a lot of mishaps and just hardships happen in between the relations with people, and just relationships just in general. It don't even gotta be fully deep in love. It could be friendships, family shit, everything. But me knowing that I have that past, and that's where the trust comes in on me, trusting, like, if somebody tells me, hey, like, I fuck with you and I want to rock with you, like, for a really long time, I'm going to be questioning, that's kind of like that, I guess you could say insecurity. Right. That was happening, that was going on. And I thought I defeated that. I thought I diminished that. I'm happy.
What defeated insecurity?
I thought I defeated that insecurity, most definitely. And going through just living myself, living in my full purpose, having that. And then going and meeting somebody, that I'm like, man, I'm infatuated with them. Like, I want them around me, like, a lot, and just, being real caring, very, very, very vulnerable, very caring with them. Right. With that, and realizing that they might not feel the same way, or they, think otherwise, or, just, it could be anything other than what I think about them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Or what I feel towards them, and they, basically not reciprocating. When that happens, I'm like, why is this shit hitting me? Like, why is this shit so heavy on my soul? Right. You know what I mean? It's disturbing me. It's disturbing my day to day. Why am I constantly thinking about it? You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, I didn't. Like, I think I just matched it. I think I just matched it with something else. I don't know what it was, but I just matched that, hurt that I had from previous, shit that has been going on, and now it's coming out. Ego. Yeah, and it played into my ego and shit. You know what I mean? Because I was like, oh well, I'm fucking, I was getting all, whatever, like, but I was like, man, that's not me. So I had to revert back, but. Just with that being said, just having that, I was like, okay, so I was a happy man one day, and now I threw all that shit away, because of whether someone, or whether because, I thought that I was ready for something, or whether, I thought they was reciprocating the feeling back, but it turns out they wasn't. And that shit just took out my ego, and that shit took out my pride, and it took out the hurt back that I felt in previous things. You know what I mean?
It's funny that you're talking about ego, because the next line I brought up is my ego on a high, but God put me in my place.
Yeah, that's a good one, bro.
I relate to that lyric so much, because all of us, especially as men, our ego plays such a big part in the things that we do. No, I'm not doing that. I'm a man. I'm not crying. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's very egotistical things that sometimes people don't even necessarily know is part of their ego. Or like, ego sometimes says, no, I'm not working at a fast food restaurant. Yeah. No, I'm not being a janitor. No, I'm not being that. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm perfect. I've let my ego get the best of me too. Yeah. Tell me about what's a moment that you thought of specifically when you wrote the line, my ego on a high, but God put me in my place.
when I was talking to this girl, like, I wouldn't even say time. Actually, no, I wouldn't even say time. It was like, this shit was like 3 weeks. it was like 3 weeks. But I was talking to this girl, and I was like, I kind of knew that, like, you know, she like there was something there. There was something there. Met her in August, right? So I met her in August. And man, I'm not gonna lie, bro. She was one of the most. I can't front, bro. She was one of the most beautiful girls that I've ever met. Damn. I can't even front, bro. I can't even lie, bro. She was, man. I'm not gonna lie. She was on my mind for quite a while, but right. But then again, that insecurity, man. I didn't think that she would fuck with me, to be honest.
Why?
Because I don't know. I thought, hey, look, I'm not gonna lie. I thought she was into like taller guys. I thought, you know, she was. Yeah, I was thinking all the dumbass shit, right? Except like the fucking what's inside, what really matters. You know what I mean?
I gotta ask, like, when you said you thought she was into taller guys, like, did you ever see her with like a tall guy that gave you that impression, or was that something that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's just my dumbass. Yeah, it's just my dumbass thinking, right? It's my dumbass thinking. You know, I knew, like, I worked, like I said, like in August, you know, I was cool, and you know, I was really confident in August, but it's just that one thing that I was like, man, nah, because then I like, you know, I did some other stupid ass shit that I did, and I fully regret. But you know, well, I don't live in regret. But you know, it's something.
Not a fan of.
I'm not a fan of regret. but no, yeah, I met her in August, and you know, we stopped talking, like, you know, I would say October. We hung out like 2 times, like with another homie of mine, and then after that, like, we kind of texted like in December and shit like that, and when that was happening, I was like, I got the general consensus that, like, she was like, you know, there was feeling involved, maybe, you know, something like that. I was kind of knowing already. So I think, man, at that moment, I was like, man, there's hella girls that are telling me this, that are telling me that. I feel like this now. I feel like that now. You know, I'm cool, and my ego was, you know, very, you know, flared up, you know, in the moment. And then she stopped talking to me. then she stopped talking to me. And I was like, crazy. And I was like, man, I'm not gonna front, bro. I was, shit.
That's the ego. So was that the moment?
That was a moment. And I wrote that shit. I wrote that shit 2 days later. I was like, damn. My ego on a hobbit then got put me in my place. Let bygones be bygones, for, you know, just like all that shit.
I gotta ask real quick. You don't have to answer this if you don't want to. Mm-hmm. Why do you feel like she ghosted you? And also, was it a ghosting, or was it like maybe the conversation just died?
No, it was a ghosting. Because I asked the question, and then she never got back to me. I asked the question, she never got back to me. And then I tried calling her and shit. And like, I was like,
and she never answered.
Nah, well, she was on D&D, but I was like, damn. But I sent a voice message, and I was like, hey, look, like, I'm going to this place. Like, you know, I was wondering if you want to come with me. This, that, and the third. And she like responded back, but I mean, it was like dead. That shit was dead, you know. But I'm not gonna lie, that shit was crazy.
So then why do you feel like it happened?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, you know, whatever it was, you know, I'm cooling with it now. You know, like, whatever it was, you know, I just feel like my thing was like, I was like, dang, because I mean, I would have liked her, like if it's like you know, I'm not really feeling this, or if it's like, it was like I'm not in like that headspace right now to like, you know, pursue this, that, and the third. I would have been like, cool, like, awesome, like, that's hella dope and shit, like, you're hella dope. But like, the fact that there was nothing, I was like, oh man, that's kind of mean. That's kind of mean. Like, that's a little bit mean.
It happens to the best of us, bro. Man, it happens to the best of us.
That's what I learned, man. I was like, man, this shit gonna happen, bro. But she was hella fine, though, I think.
Well, I mean, maybe she hears this and changes her mind. I have to ask, first a statement, and then I'm going to ask a question. Yeah. I hear a lot of accountability on this project, which is why I asked you if you felt you knew the reason why she ghosted you.
Yeah.
A lot of the times people are afraid to say, you know what? I feel like it didn't work out because I was too clingy, or I feel like it didn't work out because I was trying too hard.
Yeah.
Like, even though you might disagree with the line of thinking, you try to understand it. And on this project, I hear that a lot.
Yeah. What's crazy about that is that in relation to that story as well, that's what I was thinking. But I was thinking that I was like, did I do something wrong? Did I do this? Did I do that? And you know, it was, you know, on me. Was I to this? Was I to that? Or like, but honestly, it wasn't even nothing. Like, it wasn't even like. I guess we didn't get in like really too deep like that, like, you know, of conversation or like of just like knowing each other, like to really, you know what I mean? Because like for me, bro, I'm not that cling. I'm not
putting that on you. I was putting those words out there.
Oh no, yeah, that was just a thought that came to my head. I'm not really that clingy, or like, for example, like I'm not really like sometimes I can't express myself that well, you know, and that's why I have the music to, to express myself, you know. So, because sometimes I be, you know, as well, you know, people say that, I'm good at writing, I'm good at this. I'm like, I really appreciate you, and I take it to heart, and I really love you guys. But at the same time, when I'm having a conversation with someone, I could be jumbling my words, because it's so many words, in my head that I want to say. It's like, I can't, I'm like stumbling over, like, but yeah, there's a lot of accountability, a lot of self-reflecting, on this one.
So I have to ask you then, in terms of this album, why was it important for you to take accountability? Yeah. As opposed to putting the blame on somebody else or anybody else or anything else?
Yeah. Because I think it was set up that way, and just, the whole whatever went on was like that, because at the end of the day, this is a life experience. This is a life experience that people, could take that experience and just, they could flip it and turn it into something that is not. For example, like, you could take it, flip it, somebody who's on the opposite end of accountability and on the opposite end of, oh, what did I do wrong? And, well, what could I improve on myself? And they're always blaming the next person, the next man, the next whoever it might be. Just don't let it hit me. Right. Because if it does hit them, then it's gonna hit them like a fucking truck. It's gonna hit them really bad. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that just with that whole thing, it's really just me going through this experience, because I pray and I talk to God, and I'm like, I know that this is an experience that you want me to go through. This is a pathway, something, whether you want to call it a trial, a tribulation, whether you want to call it, just a roadblock. It's something that you want me to go through. So that way, on the other end, I come out a stronger person. Kind of what you say, like growing pains. I'm going through this pain, I'm going through this emotion, but at the end, I come out, stronger minded. I come out even gaining more knowledge about what love really is. Right. You know what I'm talking about? So I believe it's really a lot of self-reflecting and accountability because of that. And because of the fact that I'm so young, I'm only 20 years old. I'm barely entering my 20s trying to figure out this adulthood shit. It's tough. It's tough. It's a lot of weight that's put on somebody's shoulders because of it. Yeah. And just knowing that, and knowing that, I'm not going to know everything, and I'm going to be 100% myself. And I'm gonna be learning, throughout these waves and these emotions. I'm like, okay, I understand that this is 100% a life experience. I can't control somebody's actions, and I can't control the way that somebody feels, I can't control what somebody says. Yeah. I could only control what yourself. I have, what I have, my soul, my heart, my mind, my, everything that I have for myself. So how can I take this experience and improve whatever negative or con that I might have, or just whatever that I'm like, hey, like, I could probably do that better, or I could, probably do this better.
You can improve, you can grow.
Yeah, improve and grow.
That right there, that accountability piece at 20 years old, is probably one of the hardest things for anybody to learn. I know that was hard for me to learn because I spent a lot of my life, more than half of it, blaming other things and other people for the way that either I turned out, my grades turned out, my love life turned out. For anybody watching, it's not about whether you're right or wrong in your blame. Someone could have actually punched you in the face, and that's the reason for your black eye. You're the reason why you don't go to the gym. I don't want to go to the gym because I got a black eye. Hey, I totally get it. You didn't give yourself a black eye. That's cool. You're the reason you're not going to the gym.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and life becomes a lot better when you accept accountability. That's a hard truth.
Yeah.
Speaking of hard truth, before we get into more lyrics, I got to ask you, if you could put it in one sentence, what is the hardest truth this project forced you to face about yourself?
I believe the hardest truth that it put me up against, like one-on-one, where I can't hide it anymore, and it's revealed, is that I need more time to myself. I need more,
as a single man.
As a single man, yeah, I need more time to myself, and I need to. And I used to think it was like, like financially, or I need to work off. I need to get the most money. I need to get like money, boom, 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 or like I need to, do this, all materialistic shit, right? But at the end of the day, it was really just like a concept of, oh shit, like the way that this is set up, and the way that I was feeling, and the way that I just let certain emotions control me, and I let certain thinking get to my head that was not in line with my moral compass at all.
Right.
I let that shit get into my head,
Get the best of you.
get the best of me, and really make me just do shit that's out of line. A lot out of line of who I am, out of line of what my parents taught me to be. So that
Your
was
faith?
really my faith, 100%, and that was the 100% realization of what I had to face going to this project, or going through and really facing it head on.
And you, sweetheart, in my darkness.
Oh, shit.
One true light shine.
Oh, man.
What you were just talking about right now made me think of that line.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it again. And now, sweetheart, in my darkness, one true light shine.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about the word sweetheart that just like lands hella heavy, but also in my sweetheart, in my darkness.
Yeah.
What is your darkness?
In my darkness,
How do you mean it throughout this project?
I mean it's a multitude of ways. In my darkness, the darkness really means my my mentality. I think my mentality, or like just like the way that certain things in my life are set up, some things that I need to work on, some things that I need to get right. That darkness, in the darkness of the pain, of the heartbreak that I'm feeling in the moment right now.
Right.
Like it plays throughout the whole album. It plays like even at the beginning of the intro when the project releases. That's gonna be the first words that are said.
Yeah.
Before who's it gonna be? Those are gonna be the first words that are said, and it goes into the album, and those are the last words that are said on the outro of the album. So with that being said, that darkness is the heartbreak, and that darkness is the feeling that I have towards this person. But at the same exact time, like I can't view this person as anything less. Like in my darkness of what you like, what you know, not what you did to me, but of what had happened about you know the whole thing about the situation, that whole thing, that whole darkness throughout this whole thing, you know, you're still the one that you know I want in my life, right. You know, like you're still the light, and
I want you to want me too,
and I want you to want me too, and I want you to want me too, yeah,
man. There's one more line in this section of lyrics I want to bring up that I found very interesting because, and I love artistry. Yeah. But what I like the most about it is I find myself agreeing with things. I also find myself disagreeing. But there's also this gray area. I'm like, I want to know what this person means. Yeah. I get to ask you. I want to know what you meant by this line. There ain't no right or wrong way to make it safe into a tender heart. Oh, yeah, I feel like there's a wrong way. Me personally. What do you mean by that?
There ain't no right or wrong way. What do you mean by that? There ain't no right or wrong way to make it safe into a tender heart. I think in the whole just in the whole context of that verse, it's really just like a concept of you can, this person that's in my life right now can do no wrong in my eyes. They can't do no wrong. Like they could punish me, and I'll be like, oh, I kind of like that shit. Do it again. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like you know, it's like.
That's some love the way you lie shit.
Yeah. 100%.
I get it though. I get it.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, I view this person as like, man, like, well, damn, they can't do no shit wrong. They can't. You know what I mean? Like in my eyes, you know.
So you have the tender heart.
Yeah, I have the tender heart. Like there ain't no right or wrong way to make it safe into a tender heart. Like, you know, my heart in this moment, in that specific moment of the album, I'm deeply invested and I'm deeply in love. Right. You know, so I'm almost like, you know, it's almost like I'm losing myself in a way in this person. And by the way, this song in particular is about nobody. By the way, right. So it's like, you know, this is just in the play of the whole, you know, project of the whole, you know, album. But it goes to show, like, you know, when that's happening, you know, when you are deeply invested in somebody, you know, sometimes it could be unhealthy because you could start losing parts of yourself and you could really like let yourself go. Now, when people say let yourself go, they like, you know, it's a trend where people say that shit and it's like, they're talking about like, oh, just like physical. Oh, like that dude let himself go or that girl let herself go. Like, no, like mentally.
You can let yourself go mentally.
You can let yourself go mentally.
You can look really good and just...
Yeah, just be all like, you know,
immature,
scrambled eggs.
Priorities all fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, so you could really lose yourself in just one person. And that one person could really, you know, just do that type of damage. You know, but yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you. So now we're going to move into the final segment of the album review.
For sure.
I went back and forth with myself about how do I feel about this segment of naming songs, right? Because I like to kind of leave the air of mystique there, but then I thought, you know what? It's not about the air of mystique. It's more so about let's get people to click on the songs and see what the artist meant behind them, right? So, De La Toscana, okay? Yeah. For the people listening, because I count 7 tracks. Am I off?
7. 6.
Regret. How can I? Another lesson. Scuffed up Stacey Adams, More Regret, Blue Magic. Well, that's 6.
It's Who's It Gonna Be, Blue Magic. Yeah, Who's It Gonna Be, Blue Magic, How Can I, More Regret, Interlude, More Regret, the actual song, and then Scuffed Up Stacey Adams. So 6. So 6. Okay. So the Another Lesson is the very last song. Very last part on Scuffed Up Stacey Adams. Okay. So that's a 3-part song, 8 minutes and 30 seconds long.
Got you. Yeah. The album's not out yet, people. Forgive me.
It's okay.
Regardless, so I listen to all of it.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, I like that it wasn't necessarily sent to me in a specific order. Right? It was just sent to me and I got to listen to it. So the first thing I want to ask, De La Toscana, why that title?
The original title was supposed to be I might butcher Spanish right now, but it was El Mujer de la Toscana. So the woman of Tuscany, right? But I just shortened it to of Tuscany. You know, just for just because it looked doper, it looked cooler.
Tuscany's a city in Italy.
Yeah, Tuscany's a city in Italy, and it's a city that I don't know. I just grew like a infatuation of, just because I like. I mean, because I've like, you know, dug deep into the city. You know, for the, like, you know, it's one of the places that I might, you know, want to live in.
Italian woman.
Yeah, get it. Hey, look. No, yeah,
I get it.
Yeah. Just, you know, digging deep into it. You know, it's some place that I would love to live someday. You know, like with my wife, you know, or, you know, just, you know, real peaceful, you know, but like we have Impalas and Cadillacs in the driveway with the, you know, big ass house and shit like that. Like, that's what I want.
You might have to import them, but I get it.
Yeah, might have to import them, but yeah. No,
I like that. I like that. So, what is your single most? What was the most challenging song to record on this album?
Not that one.
To me, I feel like it's
Another
more
lesson.
regret interlude because you're singing.
Oh, fuck.
You have high notes the entire time.
Yeah.
And at first, I thought it was a sample. I said, "Nah, that's him."
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's either that one or the last part, Another Lesson on Scuffed Up Stacey Adams, that very last part, because I'm singing in that shit too. Like, I'm, you know, I'm the high pitch and everything. And also, Mundo's on that track. So, you know, shout out to Mundo. You know, he's him, and on Blue Magic is Cray, you know, Crispy Cray, one of the homies from Mild Gratitude, from our, you know, little creative company that we got, you know. So shout out to both of them. You know, wouldn't have done it without them, you know, for this project, you know. So, you know, Mundo, you know, he laid his, you know, vocals down and everything. It is crazy because I called him in the midst of all the shit that was going on, and I was like, bro, I need a song, bro. I need to create something with you, just to get all this shit off. So he's featured on that last one, on that 8-minute and 31, and I feel like it's in between, Another Lesson, the very last one, because that verse, if you heard that verse in that song is one of the most heartbreaking verses I ever wrote. You know, like, where I go, like, I don't, like, just the voice too, like the voice, my cadence and my tone. I was in that shit. I was really, like, feeling it. And it was crazy just to listen back on it. Like, you know, the first lines, you know, I don't talk too much, but when I do, the tone hold value. I was so infatuated from the start. I want to learn more about you. Study all your passions, all your fears, and your vice. Invite you out to customize the same night. Past ones did me dirty. You know, all the shit. So I was really, like, in that mode with that. So I think it was either that one or it was More Regret Interlude.
More Regret Interlude.
Yeah.
Beautiful songs, both of them, and I appreciate that you hit those high notes, because it reminds me, your style again reminds. I told you on your first interview, go watch that first interview.
Go watch the first interview.
Remind me a lot of Kendrick.
Thank you, man.
Right, like where you tweak your voice to essentially get across different perspectives and get across different emotions.
Yeah. 100%.
I really appreciate that. Now, so we have your most difficult one to create.
Mm-hmm.
I have to know. What is the most important song on this project? Let's say people only have the chance to listen to one song for a day. Like, they can listen to the whole album the next day, but they got to listen to this one to get them hooked. What would it be for you?
Damn, that's hard, because I'm going to have to choose between two. Either Scuffed Up Stacey Adams.
Yeah, I was about to guess. I was like, can I guess them?
Yeah.
Well, my first guess was going to be Scuffed Up Stacey Adams. Or who's it going to be?
I would say How Can I?
Okay. That was my favorite one, so I appreciate that.
100%. Thank you. No, it's either Scuffed Up Stacey Adams or How Can I, but I'm going to say Scuffed Up Stacey Adams, though. Okay. You know, just for the sake of how lengthy that record is, and, you know, just the amount of parts and the amount of thought that I put into that one. So I would say that one.
Scuffed Up Stacey Adams.
Yeah.
Okay. What is one line? Now, this is not from Scuffed Up Stacey Adams. Next day, someone listens to the whole thing.
Yeah.
what is one line or one bar, right? You could say like 1, 2, up to 4 that you're very, very proud of.
Ooh, okay. Can I dig in my phone?
Go ahead.
Dig in my phone. I'm gonna dig in my phone.
While Angel's digging his phone, I'm gonna go ahead and plug Angel Ochoa. If you guys are not following Angel Ochoa right now, you can follow Angel you search Miguel Pena. That is MiguelPena. Angel Ochoa right there. Right, you guys gotta follow him. Again, super prolific. What other artists do you know pulls up to the studio? Now it's cold in here, don't get me wrong. But who else pulls up right with the rag on top of his head, bro? Right, y'all can't even see the cross. It's gold. Gold on top of the yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that. I feel insecure with my. You talking about? No. I'm playing with you. But still, so you got it.
Fun fact. Fact. My uncle, he's a devout Catholic. He brought me this. Man, he gotta correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he brought me this from the Holy Land.
Okay.
It was blessed by a priest over there. So
even better, bro.
So this is really something I hold to heart.
This was blessed by Macy's, right?
Oh no. That's your heart. I have it right here.
All right.
I believe there's this line from right here. There's a line from Scuffed Up Stacey Adams. I say, this is 8 bars. I say, from the gangsters to the business, they all were Stacey Adams. I scuffed them up from running and jumping over these platforms. If you tell me about a month ago what was going to happen, I would not have spoken to you. How can words do damage? A piece of me, not a piece, because your peace reside in... My peace reside in Yahweh, the Elohim. I'm a man, but I'm frustrated. My words is twisted. I think too much. 2 options, a moral code, or I do not give a fuck. I'll pick one. Yeah.
The way that you just wrapped it right here live in the studio is like, I had to like digest that you were doing that. I'm like, I thought you were just going to read it. Why is that your proudest bar?
I think because in the concept of the context of the song, that's like this is the second part of Scuffed Up Stacey Adams with the beat switch. So it was really like the all breakdown, like the first beat went on, it was cool, but this was like the total breakdown. That last song is real in hindsight, is really just taking the last 5 songs that I had and having this beautiful canvas. If this wall right here was all empty, even all this shit is beautiful shit. I love that picture of you. But like, let's say like,
it's all good. You can call it for what it is.
That shit is fire. But if this wall was empty, if it was empty and like all the songs were just me painting all over the place, that last song, the 8 minutes and 30 seconds with Scuffed Up Stacey Adams, that shit's just tearing all that shit down. It's tearing everything down. It's burning it to shreds. I'm gonna keep it real. The ending of this album is not a good ending. You know what I mean? Right. Just based off the last song alone, the last part. But the shit, do I say, from the gangsters to the business, they all wish Stacey Adams scuffed them up, running and jumping over these platforms. It's really, I take the shoe, I'm wearing them right now. The scuff, the Stacey Adams. Yeah.
He really lives his rasp. Bro. Yeah. Hold on, kick that up one time. Look at that shit. They literally scuffed up. Bro.
Yeah, they're scuffed up and shit. My dad's gonna get mad at me and shit. He always tell me, he's like, you better not walk out the house with fucking scuffed up, these shoes scuffed up and shit. But I had them scuffed up, so I was like, man, really the concept behind those bars is really the hindsight of Scuffed Up Stacey Adams. I'm running. You could take this, man, if you watch like, these Chicano movies and shit like that, these like motherfucking these people in the neighborhood and shit. Yeah. They be dressing fly and shit with the Adams and shit like that, the Stacey Adams, and with whatever shoe they have, but like the whole key point about it is to not get them, not get no dirt on them. Yeah. I heard this interview the other day where this motherfucker was like, yeah, I used to buy Cortezes and like at the end of every single week, I'll buy a new pair because I fucked them up, by the end of the week. So it was like, man, when you only have one pair, whether Stacey Adams or dress shoes, you scuffing them up. You over here jumping fences, you doing all this shit. You doing shit that a young kid does, so you doing all this shit in these shoes, and I'm scuffing them up while doing it. But at the same time, it's like me running, with these shoes on, because I wear these shoes all the time. It's me, running with these shoes on, running away from these problems that I'm having with love.
Like your visual.
Yeah, exactly. Like my visual in Blue Magic, like I'm running in the Stacey Adams, and I'm running, and I have another visual for More Regret Interlude, where it's the polar opposite, where in the Blue Magic snippet, it was me running in the daylight. It was me running in the daylight. I was wearing all white or, just light colors with the Adams on, with the Stacey Adams on, and I was running towards the camera. But in this, it's inverse, so it's dark time. It's nighttime.
You're running away from it.
I'm running away from it, and I'm wearing all black, and I'm looking back at the camera, and I'm it's kind of like an inverse storyline that goes on there. So really, just that whole 8 bars was just a breakdown of me really just going ahead and running away from these problems, and I'm scuffing up my shoes while I'm doing it, and, I'm dirty while I'm doing it, but at the same time, I'm trying to look presentable for whatever life throws at me and shit like that. But in hindsight, these scuffed up Stacey Adams, I'm running away from these problems that I'm having with love.
That's beautiful, man. One last time, plug your album, tell the people where they can listen to you, tell the people where they can find you. What's your album? Plug it all, bro.
So my album De La Toscana is coming out January 27th, 2026. My Instagram is Miguel Ochoa 00. Same thing on every other platform. Miguel Ochoa 00. It's gonna be out on Apple Music, Spotify. It's gonna be out on everywhere, YouTube, TikTok, whatever you find it, whatever you have, you'll find it. That's kind of coming out. The youngsters coming out really soon. Shout out to Doza, shout out to Randy, shout out to Cray, shout out to Christian, all the Mob Gratitude, homies, man. Those are my brothers, and those are people that are I'm gonna rock with forever. Forever how long this goes, but De La Toscana coming out. It's coming out the 27th. We also gonna have we also in the works of a listening party. For the whole entire album.
Okay.
Or the whole entire EP. There's gonna be a listening party. Oh, well, I shouldn't say there's going to be. We're trying to get it confirmed right now. We just need to hear back from the lovely people. Yeah. From the lovely people who's going to be at a studio, or hopefully he's going to be at a studio. Right. So hopefully we hear back from them. Hopefully we get this set up, and our date. Hopefully we're trying to reach for the 31st of January. Yeah, 31st of January
for the release party.
Yeah, for the release party. It's gonna release on the 27th, and then we're gonna have the thing the 31st. We're trying to find we're trying to have everybody come out. Like everybody, you're invited if you, man. I really want you to come, man. I know you a busy man, but I really want you to come. I want Nitty to come.
We gonna see what's going on.
Yeah,
the schedule,
for
bro.
sure. Yeah.
I got you. Well, I don't want to plug it here, so you're gonna have to tell me off camera where it's at.
Oh no. Yeah, for sure. No,
Well, y'all go check out Angel Ochoa right now, bro. Stop what you're doing. Go. Stop playing with me, bro. No,
stop playing with him, bro. I'm just like,
Angel Ochoa, thank you so much for being on the show.
Of course, bro. Thank you.